Welcome back to Hey Baby and Beyond. I'm Lauren, an antenatal and postnatal teacher here in the UK. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification button so that you get the top videos posted straight away. In this video, I just want to talk to you about ways that you can help yourself along into a positive birthing experience. So there are a few things that I always mention in antenatal classes to parents, things that I think are important that you can do to help yourselves feel more confident and prepared for birth. So here are my top tips. The first thing that I always say to parents is that by finding out the things that happen in birth, finding out how a physiological birth does happen and the parts where things can change is really important, as a change in your labour pathway can change things off your birthing plan or preferences in quite a big way. For example, if you decide to go for an induction of labour but you're planning a water birth in a birth centre, it's quite unlikely that you'd get that birth by having an induction of labour. So what we want you to be is fully informed of how changes in the labour and birth pathway will change your preferences for birth. Another thing that I always say is that you need to go into birth with a positive mindset. If you go into your birth and take other people's birth baggage with you, then you are going to have these things preset in the back of your mind. So just because your friend had X, Y, and Z in her birth and X, Y, and Z happens, it didn't mean that that's going to happen to you, okay? So what you need to remember is that actually this is your birth, this is your story to write, and whatever happens in your birth, even if you went on to have another baby, would not happen again. More than likely, every single person's birth, every single baby's birth is different. So you need to go in there with that positive mindset, a clear mindset, and having a real good knowledge that we know that two births are never the same. The next thing I always say is that having a really good birth partner or birth supporter is really important. You want those people to be on your side. You want that to be your team who are cheering you on and making sure that that birthing space is exactly how you want it for your birth. So whether it be one person or two, it's just important that they know the birth preferences and the birth plan, and they're going to support you in a really positive way to help you to achieve your birth. The next thing is making sure that you're fully prepared for that trip to the hospital and understanding that whatever happens when you go into labour, we need to keep down the adrenaline. Oxytocin is our key hormone for birth, and it's really important that that flows as much as it can. So we really need to be thinking about ways we can enhance our oxytocin, and one of the big things with that is that when you get to that hospital setting or wherever you plan to give birth, we create that space and that environment that's going to help our oxytocin flow. And that means that our birth partners are protecting our private space because we know that our oxytocin is a shy hormone. The next thing is remembering to stay hydrated during your labour. There's nothing worse than becoming dehydrated and having to move birthplace because of this small thing. So it's a job for birth partners, but it's also something we really need to remember. Drinking loads, but making sure we're emptying our bladder to make space for our baby to drop down into the pelvis. Another thing is remaining in as many upright positions as you can for your labour and birth, because upright positions do help your baby to descend into the pelvis and help your cervix to dilate. So that's a really important tip to remember, especially in the early stages of labour. Remember that you don't have to stay by the bed, and if, for example, you was being induced and everything was low risk, you can mobilise and remove yourself off the ward until necessary. So that is just a few tips that I give to parents in my classes. Part 2 will also be coming soon, but like I said before, don't forget to subscribe, make sure you like the video, and drop below in the comment box what helped you have a positive birth or what you would do differently next time you had a baby.